Right, here we are in Masterpiece Creator, and we're gonna, this is just a small scene I've made up, we're gonna make this into a world to import onto VRChat. So we've got our scene here. This is just the base layer, so you can see I haven't put any water because we'll just add that in as a shader in Unity. So this is our sort of our base. So we're going to export this. So we want to make sure you've got each of your layers named. You might have to name them twice because if you're creating it in clay and then you change it to a mesh, it becomes mesh layer. So if you rename it, it just makes adding your normals and your height maps and that, if you want to add them in Unity later, a little bit easier to find. So if you just go through, you can just hit the little pen key and rename them all. So I'll just go through now and we'll select the ones we want to export. So we've got all them ticked. Now we'll just hit export. We'll go as OBJ, we'll call it island, and we're good to go. Hit export. And we'll just wait for this to export, and then we'll export a static object to add into our scene in Unity. So we'll get out of here. Okay, now we'll go, we should get back to there. So we'll just quickly rename these layers because this will make us a little bit easier to add the normals in later. So this one is the metal layer. You'll see why we do this, so this just definitely makes it a little bit easier in blend in Unity. Sorry, after. Probably a little bit overcomplicated, but it's just more so you have a multi-layer asset to export. So now we'll just click on all the ones we just named. All textured, all looks good, and we'll export that as OBJ, export. So OBJ is probably the easiest when you're starting off, so we'll go with OBJ. Okay, so we've exported our masterpiece base model for taking into Unity for our VRChat world. So we want to, once you've installed Unity, you're going to need the Unity version 2019.4.30 F1, but if you do a Google search for making our VRChat world, yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, and it's got a very simple web page that shows you basically what you need and where the SDKs are and all the appropriate links. But we'll go into the SDK pack next. But we've got the hub open on Unity 3, or Unity Hub 3, sorry, and this is, you can just choose to install it when you've downloaded Unity, and this is great because you can basically install different versions of Unity, so which is quite handy for different projects, have different things. But VRChat has 2019.4.30 F1 at this stage, so we're going to create a new project, and so we'll bring it up. I just leave everything pretty much the default here, just make a name for it here. So we'll call this Stranded Island or something like this. Okay, so here we are in our blank Unity scene that we've loaded into for our project, for our VRChat world. So what we want to do now is get the SDK. So what you do is you bring up your browser, type in VRChat SDK, hit enter, and it should be pretty much at the top setting up the SDK, and that'll take you through to a VRChat document, which gives you basically every bit of information. It's very nice and easy and simple. You just follow the steps basically, so it gives you the correct current version of Unity you want to use. So this, you can even go to this before you've installed Unity if you want to know exactly to do the right steps. Right, we're going to go to the choosing your SDK, and that will take us to this page, and all of the SDKs are available on their website. So now if you click that, it'll take you through to the VRChat website. You'll have to log in if you're not already logged in, but what you want for doing a world is the SDK3 Worlds SDK. So I'll download that now, close that down, and we'll just wait for that to download. Okay, now that the VRChat SDK3 is downloaded, go to your downloads folder, you bring it up, just open it up while you're in your Unity. Just click on your Unity package in your downloads and just drag and just drop it into your assets area at the bottom of your screen there, and just let it do its thing. And it'll just decompress initially, and then it will give you an option on the top right where you click import to the scene, and then you'll just have to wait, might be 5 minutes. Here we go. So click import, and then you just wait for it to do its thing, and then you'll be set up to start editing. Okay, our VRChat SDK is finished installing. So now what we want to do is bring in our assets that we exported earlier from Masterpiece. So we'll just browse to our Masterpiece export folder. So Creator, Exports, and we've got the island. Here's our island here. So you could select those separately, but what I've found is easiest. It's nice and tidy the way Masterpiece exports, so I'll just bring the island in and just drag and drop again into your assets sort of area at the bottom of your screen in the Unity window. That'll just import all our stuff into Unity. And wait for that to finish, and then there's a few steps just to set them up before we add them to our scene. But it's nice and simple, so we'll close that down. Okay, so what we want to do is we'll go to the island first. You want to open up your folder for your model, and you click on, you'll see the little, you've got all your textures there, and this is where the renaming them is quite important, because it makes it so much easier to tag them later, because it's not just saying mesh layer, and because they're quite small icons, if it just says mesh layer 1, you can't see what number it is, it'd be off the side. So with a name, it's a lot easier. So anyway, we've clicked on our island. Up in the top right, you want to make sure you're under the inspector tab. If you don't have these other tabs, you can just add them by just going under the window menu and windows, and then just dragging them across and attaching them to over here. So at the moment we're under the inspector tab. So this is all the stuff for that model that we've got called the island. So, and then once you're in the inspector here, you'll have the 4 little tabs here: model, rig, animation, and materials. So under model, you want to just scroll down and click generate UV maps. It has generated UV maps in when you export out of Masterpiece, because it generates them on when you create a texture for it. But I've found ticking this just helps smooth them out a little bit more in Unity even. So we'll just click apply on that, and it will just quickly apply those to the object. It can take a little bit depending on the size. Okay, so that's done. Then we go to the materials tab, and under the materials tab you want to click on extract materials. This just lets you change the materials in Unity. Like if you don't click extract, you won't have the option to change the shaders. So just extracting them now. I've just selected the same folder that we're already in, so it's just doing its thing. Right, they're all extracted. I've just extracted the treasure chest as well while I was waiting. So we'll go back out to the assets main folder under here. Just lower this down a little bit so we've got a bit bigger window at the sides here. I'll just resize these. Okay, so what you want to do now is go into the folder that's VRChat examples, and then you'll see here it's got a Udon. You look up the top right, you'll see it says Udon example scene. So this is the one we want to start with for our VRChat world. So this basically makes it really easy. It chucks in everything you need. So you just drag and drop it into the hierarchy there. Then what you want to do is go up the top there, right click on the sample scene that was in there when you first load Unity, and just put where is it? Remove scene, so it gets rid of that completely. So now we've got our first sort of beginnings of our VRChat world. So we want to go up the top and probably save it now. So you're probably going to save it as a different name. So we'll save this as Desert Island. Desert Island is what we're going to call it, so we'll click save. So now if we go back down the bottom, click under our assets, we'll have our Desert Island saved scene. So a few things we want to probably do in the scene, because this is just an example one that VRChat kind of gives you to get started with your SDK. So we don't want all this stuff in our one. So you just click on stuff in the scene and just hit the delete key. Just get rid of it. You don't need it. I'll undo that one because I might keep the floor for now. Just it gives you like a collider really. And where's our island? Here we go. So what you want to do now is just drop this into your hierarchy, and it will have dropped it right in the middle of the scene, so it's probably quite small. So we need to resize that. So up here you can manually resize at the top right of the screen. You've got a scale and the position boxes. So if I'll type in 30, 30, and just see how that looks. Looks like we're below the floor here, so we can just click on these little things here, the gizmos, and we can bring it up. So it's still looking quite small because the size of this area. So we might, probably could go maybe 100. It's even too small, so we might have to go 250. I'll try 250. Scale 250. Just want to rotate that over, so we'll go to the little rotate tool. For some reason this one, the center point of the export isn't on the object, which is a little bit unusual. I don't know whether that's just because I've put it may have had another layer in the sky, I'm not sure. Anyway, that'll do us for now, so we'll bring that across. You don't want to go too far below that floor, that grid that's there, because that's sort of where the respawn is a certain distance below that it'll respawn you. So we want to be above that. This one here, we can just we can get rid of that later on, which is just a floor layer. So now that we've got that there's a few things you probably want to do to it. So we'll go in closer. You can just navigate around Unity with the WASDF keys and holding the right mouse button to look around. So I'm going to click on it until it comes up with an orange outline. Then you'll see at the right side all of the different elements to it. So we'll scroll down. Where are we? Okay, so I'm looking for the rock faces here. Here we go, the rocks. So we want the rock shader. So we've got the shaders on. Now we want to put the normals on for them, which we'll probably, where's the rocks? This is the rocks here. So this will be the rocks normal. So you want to drag that across and drop it into the normals box there. It looks a little bit, see, it's starting to look weird, but over here it'll says this texture is not marked as a normal map. So fix it, and it should make it a lot better. Like it's at the moment it's looking a little bit strange because of our lighting is not correctly set up. And if you want any of your metallics or your height maps, you can easily just drag them straight from the folder, export folder from Masterpiece, and drop them into the appropriate one. So I'm just going to go with as simple as possible for this particular one. We'll put the fort. We'll put some normals on the fort. So we just find the fort. There we go. There's the normals for the fort. We'll drop that in there, and we'll fix that. And that should be looking good now. Just move around here to have a look. Yep, it's all looking good. And the seafloor we might need to do as well. So we'll just check that. Where's the seafloor? Yeah, I think I made a slight mistake in Creator by not converting these in with UV maps, the leaves, but I wanted to try just having it as a mesh layer with a standard shader on. So we'll see how it goes. So we've got the seafloor. I'll just drag the normals onto that for the sand, because this will be good for the lighting. It gives the sand like the cool rippled effect. So we'll fix that. Here we go. So that's done. Now we can bring in our other asset and position it in the scene. But before we probably do that, we might want to make sure we've got our scale correct. So what I normally do is, if we bring in under Assets Game Object, at the top Game Object menu, go Cube. Just drag this across here somewhere. So a cube is a really good way of measurement in VRChat. The other way you can do it is if you've got already an avatar. Where did our cube go? You could bring that in as an example to see the sort of size. So I'm going to just test it on this cave because we want to be able to walk through this cave. So what we want to do, so yeah, here we go. So this cube is basically 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter. So you'd probably, if you want to walk through a space, you probably want to have it about as high as 3 of these, so you've got plenty of headroom in that. So what we're going to do now is I'll just stack another one, just put another one on top. I'm just pushing Control D here, and then I will just group these ones under the original one so that if I move one of them, it moves them all. Just so that way, this is my little scale or ruler, if you like. So now we'll click on the main one again, and now we just need to go back out and rescale it. So what I'm going to do is manually scale it here, just to get it so that we can fit that inside the cave. So we'll just click on the center of it so it scales uniformly, and now I'm just dragging it bigger. We're going to have to reposition it again, but right, we'll go back now. Click on this 0, 0, 0. Okay, so that's where that obviously goes. So we need to just probably change our view a little bit here so we can reposition it back where the our ruler is. Easier at a top-down view at times, so I just go directly to there. Now I'll go side on. Just go straight up. I might rotate that over a little bit too while we're here. Just see it's a little bit out. Here we go. Go back to our top-down view. Just zoom in a little bit so we can see. Our cube's gone. I'll just click on them in the hierarchy here. It's probably the easiest way. I'll just drag them over here, bring them up. So here we go. There's our cubes. We'll just see. Oh, it's nearly there. I think we might have to go click back on the main one. So what are we at? 510. I might take it to 530. Try 530 scale. And then we'll click back onto our cube. See what we're looking like now. Just drag this in. Yeah, I reckon we just about better walk through there because that's about 3 meters high now. So the other way you can do is you can test it. But before we go too much further, so we've got our scales pretty much right. So we'll get rid of that. We'll delete the cube now, and then we'll go up to the top where the VRChat menu is, the CSSDK. What you want to do is go Show Control Panel. You'll have to log in here, and if you've spent enough time in VRChat, it will then it'll tell you what you're allowed to do. We're allowed to publish worlds or avatars. So then you want to click to the Builder tab, and this is where you just set up a few things for VRChat. So set up layers. So you just click, yep, do it, and it'll do its thing. And then select collision matrix, and you want to click through the thing, do it. and then it's set up. So then if you wanted to test this theoretically in VR, you could just jump straight in and test it, but you'd probably fall straight through it because we haven't put any colliders or anything on yet. So we'll just drag that tab up to the top there, just drop it over there, go back to the inspector tab, and select this until we come back up with the orange, and then we want to scroll right to the bottom of where all our textures are, and then add new component. And if there's nothing there, I'll just delete that so you can see what it's normally like. And you'll just type in mesh and it will come up with mesh collider. Hit it and it will add a mesh collider so that you can actually walk on the surface. So now that we've done that, that one's nearly good to go, except we want to make it static. So what you want to do is click over here in the hierarchy onto the main part where your model is. Over on the right, you'll see a little checkbox that says static. So this is only going to receive static lights because we haven't got any animations on it. So check that. It'll ask if you want to do it for the all of the children. Yes. And that's done. So now we'll go back to our assets down the bottom and our treasure chest, and we can just drag this out into the scene. I'll bring it up here. It's probably a little bit small, so I'm just going to manually scale this. So I'll just grab the scale tool while we've got it selected, and we'll just make it yay big or so. That big will be alright. Rotate this around here. We'll just have this sitting on the beach here somewhere. Bring this up. We'll just move the camera view around here so that we can sort of see what we're up to. It's half buried in the sand there, so we might rotate that over a little bit as well. Just move that a little bit further out onto the beach. Maybe here. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so that's done, and we're just going a little bit closer to this so we can make sure this is, because this has got a bit more layers we probably are going to want to play with. So we've got our rivets, our hinges, gems, timber, metal and treasure. So if we're still in the folder that we've got the OBJ from and dragged it into the scene, you'll see all the different layers down here. So for a start, we'll start with the metalwork on the side. So we'll pop that one open. We will, there's the metal one there, so there's our metal normal map. We'll drop that in and hit fix now, and then we'll probably want our gloss, which is all our metallic, so that's probably our metallic one here. If you're not sure, if you click, when you're in the inspector tab, if you just click on something here, it'll show up there if you can't read what it says there, so that's correct. So we'll click back onto this now, and we're on our metal one, so we'll drag this one into the metallic one. And suddenly you see it's starting to look a bit shinier now. You may, depending on how shiny you want it, you can just adjust that. Maybe about there. Don't want it too shiny, it's supposed to be a bit old and rusty. So that one's done. I'm not going to worry about a height map for this. Okay, we'll go to the timber now. Oh, we should close that one down. We'll go open up the timber one. Timber is here, so we want the normals from the timber. Put them on the normal box and fix. And I don't think the timber has any metallics to it. It does here by the look of it. Maybe not. No, we won't worry about metallics for the timber. Okay, now we'll do the treasure, because that's definitely going to have some shininess to it. So we'll go to the normals for the treasure. Drop them in. Fix them. And the metallics will be this one. We'll drop that in the metallic. Maybe we can just adjust this to where it looks about right. And if you've got emission ones, you might have to tick the emission box and then you'll drag in the emission stuff, but we haven't got any of that. So now we'll go do the gems, which we'll need normals for. Here are the gems up the top here. This is the gems normal. Fix. For the gems. For our pieces of silver there, that's pretty good about there. Right, and now we've just got the last couple to do, which is the hinges. Hinges are here, so this is the normals for them. those, and then we'll just drop on the metallics for the hinges as well, I think. A little bit of a sheen, that'll be good. Okay, and then just the shiny rivets on the side of the chest. So we'll just drop the normals in there, fix those. And where else have we got metallic for the rivets? There we go, drop that there. Here we go, that's looking nice and shiny. So that's that done. So I'll click off that and just pan out and have a little bit of a look around. Yeah, that's come out quite nicely actually. Very nice. Right. Just zoom out a little bit here. Just clicking on this. That's pretty much all set now. So what we really want to do is add some water to it. But first we'll just click into the assets here and we'll right click and I'm going to create a material. There we go, find that there. I'm going to name this transparent. This is just so that I can make that floor see-through. It's just like a see-through layer for it. And so we'll just go to click on the color box, go to the left-hand side, or you could drag it across and add it to over here somewhere so it's here closer for when you're playing with it next time. Drag the transparency bar or the alpha texture right to the bottom, and then click on transparent in the drop down rendering mode box, and then what you do is you can just literally click it out and just drop it on that and it will get rid of it. It'll still be there, but it's just not visible and it's not going to affect the light shaders then. So now we probably just want some water before we start adding any more stuff to our scene. So to get some water, we're just going to go go to the asset store at the top here, and we'll just get a real basic shader for water. Okay, I've got a asset from the store. It's called VR Water Shaders. I think it was just a free one. So I'm just going to go into, where is it, prefabs for it, and water large. Yep. Drop that in the hierarchy. And then I'll just bring that up a little bit, about there. Zoom in on our island so we can see. And then I'll just click onto it and open up the shaders for it here, because there's some things we might need to change. So I'm going to give it see how glossiness is there. Just want to bring the colour up a little bit more. I might change the colour. I'm going to change it. No. There we go. So we can change it so it's not so transparent. I'll bring that right up. Looks a bit better, and we can just drag this around too to change the tone of it. More of a tropical island sort of look. Go with a green. There we go. We'll try that, and then it's just settings you can just literally play around with. So this one's quite a moving sort of like waves. I think you can change all that down in the settings over here, like height wise. You can have it smooth or flat. I'll make it a little bit more calm here. Okay, that'll do us for now. You get the idea anyway. So now that we've done that, we could just have a little test to see what the lighting's going to look like baked. So first we've got to set up a few things for the lighting. We'll go over to the lighting tab here. If you don't have it, you can get it from a window, Windows, and then your lighting, and then you can just drag it across. Okay, so I'm going to change this to skybox, which is going to give us our reflections. We want to change ambient mode to baked. And see how it's got nothing in the sun source. We want to go across to our hierarchy here and drag our directional light and drop it in there. And then we'll go back to our directional light, go into the inspector, and I'm just going to change it to temperature mode, I'm just going to change the sun color just a touch so it's not quite full white because the sun's got a little bit of a yellow tinge to it. Change the mode to mixed because we are going to have animated things in here later. So if you go fully baked, you're not going to have shadows on your animated stuff. So we'll leave it on mixed. Everything else is pretty much set up to go. Now we'll go back to the lighting tab. I'm going to go click on progressive GPU for the baking because it makes it much faster. So we uncheck the global illumination one. So we're just fully on the baked mode. Everything else is good. We won't need ambient occlusion because we're baking it, so it should look good anyway. And then I'll just hit generate and see how it comes out. It's just starting to prepare its bake now. This is the sort of thing that can take a bit of time depending on how big your worlds are and things like that. So you just got to let it do its thing really. Okay, so it's finished baking. So we've got our lights all baked. It's looking really good. Looking at around the island there, shading and all that. Looking really nice. Okay, so we'll just center our view back up. Now you want to go up to the top and make sure that you save your scene. Click save. And that's it for part 1. Next part we'll be back in Masterpiece Creator, exporting a object that we can then rig in Masterpiece Motion to add a animated asset to this